And this is going to be an issue throughout the campaign, really.
Oh, yeah.
President Trump saying he is likely to revoke the security clearance of current Justice Department official Bruce Orr for his connections to Fusion GPS, and dossier author Christopher Steele. His base loves this.
Yeah, and the president's comments, of course, come on the heels of his call to strip former CIA Director John Brennan's security clearance. Earlier this week, we've got Fox News national security correspondent Jennifer Griffin here. Jennifer, what a treat to have you. What's the latest on this story?
Well, thank you, Kristen. There are very clear signs that President Trump is preparing to strip the security clearances of 8 more top former intelligence officials and 1 current Justice Department employee for their role in the Russia probe or their criticism of the president in recent months. In an interview with Rachel Maddow last night, former CIA Director John Brennan spoke at length after having his security clearance revoked.
The fact that he's using a security clearance of a former CIA director as a pawn in his public relations strategy, I think is just so reflective of somebody who, quite frankly, I don't want to use this term maybe, but he's drunk on power. He really is. And I think he's abusing the powers of that office.
Among those now in the president's sights, former head of the FBI, James Comey, former DNI, James Clapper, among others. The Washington Post reported last night that the White House had drafted orders from the president for more security clearances to be revoked. Of particular note is a Justice Department prosecutor who works in the Organized Crime Division, whom most people had not heard of until recently, Bruce Orr. He was demoted by Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein early on in the Mueller probe after it was revealed that he had contact with Christopher Steele, the former MI6 spy, who compiled an unverified dossier that included allegations that Russia had dirt on President Trump, including a tape. Orr's wife, Nellie, worked for Fusion GPS, an opposition research firm hired by the Clinton campaign to investigate any ties to Trump had to Russia. President Trump hinted at what is likely to be his next move while leaving the White House Friday.
I think Bruce Orr is a disgrace. I suspect I'll be taking it away very quickly. I think that Bruce Orr is a disgrace with his wife, Nellie. For him to be in the Justice Department and to be doing what he did, that is a disgrace.
Bruce Orr is slated to testify to the House Oversight Committee on Capitol Hill on August 28th. There are bound to be a lot of questions there.
Oh, yeah. And, you know, one thing I just wanted to hit on, this letter that was signed by so many former CIA directors who have served every president going back to Ronald Reagan have signed on to this letter. Put this in perspective for us. How big of a deal is this?
Well, it's a big deal. If you look at the original letter from 12 former CIA directors and top officials, some of them deputy directors, you had that letter. And then last night, another letter with 60 signatures of very well-known top CIA officials saying that this is an attempt by the president to stifle free speech. Now, that being said, the president has the right to revoke security clearances. It just hasn't been done before. And many are asking why it wasn't the CIA to revoke John Brennan's clearance if he had done something that they felt was egregious. And the CIA has been very quiet about this. Gina Haspel has not spoken.
Security apparatus that is taking the president to task on this. On the other side of this, you've got the president's defenders, whether they be
have a
the House
DNI
of Representatives, whether they be the Senate, or whether they be part of his political groups.
Like in the
Is
loop,
there
not
any
necessarily needs to
crossover
approve
from
it,
the
but know
national
about
security apparatus to the defense of Trump camp?
Well, it's interesting. I've heard arguments on both sides. I think
even
it's not
within the national security.
Well, you know, I think we heard from Dan Hoffman, who is now a contributor here at Fox News. He was a former CIA station chief in Moscow, and he was defending the president's right to do this. He had his own arguments, but you know, Dan Hoffman is a long-time serving member of the CIA, and he does not have a political axe to grind with when it comes to this. So it was not just a political issue. There are different arguments, but what was most interesting last night was hearing John Brennan on Rachel Maddow warn of what he is concerned could be a wag the dog type situation, where the president, who's feeling cornered because of the Mueller probe, because of other issues, whether it's the Omarosa book coming out this week, concerned that he might start a national security crisis, even start a war. That was the suggestion of John Brennan last night. He's concerned that the president right now is cornered and using this to stifle his critics, and that it may not end well.
So what do you think would happen if President Trump does indeed go down that list that he's made and revoke all of their security clearances.
Well, he has the right to do so. He has the right to do so, but John Brennan said last night that lawyers, national security lawyers, have reached out to him and they believe that there is a case that could be brought that could stop this in the courts. And what we've seen in the past with things that the president has done through executive order, the courts have stepped in. So the question is, will John Brennan and others pursue some sort of legal method for stopping this? But again, the damage is done. The chilling effect is already being felt, I think, among intelligence officials. Most notable, if you look this week, though, their top officials are coming out, like Bill McRaven, the Navy SEAL admiral who oversaw the bin Laden raid. That was unprecedented for him to say that this is McCarthy-era style tactics and to ask him to revoke his clearance. There is a circling of the wagons in the intelligence community, and I don't think this fight is far from over.
So far, especially as you know, from people outside or retired, Gina Haspel, others haven't really spoken out about this yet. Jen Griffin, thank you very much.
Thank you for coming in on a weekend.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Welcome back anytime. I'm sure you can't wait to spend Saturdays with us. It was so much fun. All right.